Welcome in, everybody. This is your self-care staffing for Friday, June 5th, 2020. I am Lou Pascal. I'm the school social worker in the Manchester City Schools in Manchester, Tennessee. I am here to remind you that you are your most important client. If you don't find a way to treat yourself that way, life will find a way to prompt you, and it probably won't be pretty. Whatever your situation is in life, you can use whatever word is appropriate to fill in that blank to complete that sentence. You are your most important blank. You are your most important family member. You are your most important patient. You are your most important client. Whatever word completes that sentence for you and reminds you to put yourself at the top of your list. Whatever your capacity is of helping people in the world, whether it is through professional setting or in your family life, whether you are a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, sibling, or whether you are a helping professional, teacher, school administrator, school support personnel, school social worker, medical professional, first responder, spiritual leader, whatever that looks like for you, you are your primary tool in that work. Remember that phrase about keeping your saw sharp. So when we're in those types of work and situations, our self is our primary tool. So we want to keep our saw, our primary self, sharp as a tool and ready to assist other people. Today, I want to talk about waiting as self-care. I sometimes think that we don't really wait anymore because technology has made things so much more convenient. However, that's really not true. There are still a lot of times when we have to wait. Some sort of daily run-of-the-mill type of waiting would be doctor's office, dentist's office. Those of you who pick children up at school, you wait in the carpool line. You still can find yourself in a traffic jam. If you are not the driver, you may be waiting during a car trip. Some other longer term examples of waiting, you may be waiting for medical or educational test results. You may be waiting for a job offer. You may be waiting for your unemployment claim to be approved. You may be in some sort of mourning period. A lot of times we think about when someone has died, we hear the guidance to wait 6 months or a year to make big decisions. You may be in sort of a time of waiting like that. Many, if not all of us, are waiting in some way, shape, form, or fashion due to the pandemic. It is particularly difficult to wait for a problem to be solved or for us to figure out an answer. Although there may be times that it's in our best interest to make a snap decision, waiting can sometimes be very beneficial for you. You have to use your discernment and your gut to know what to do in that moment, whether it's to make a decision immediately or whether to wait. Waiting can be very wise. So, what do we do to take care of ourselves while we wait? I'm going to give you a list of different ideas. Some of them will apply to shorter term waits, and some will be for a wait that takes a longer time. So, one thing is if it's sort of a daily wait, I would think of taking something to do whenever you leave the house. If you have children in your life, think about how you always take something with you to entertain small children in case you have to wait. Apply that same thing to yourself. You can take a portable craft project, knitting is a great example, or a book. You can take a crossword puzzle or number puzzle or word search. You could use this time to build your vision board on Pinterest, so you could dedicate that time to sort of daydreaming. and you have your phone and you have your Pinterest app, and you start to try to find those visuals to get those in your mind and help you achieve your goals. Be very careful with your phone in the car. If you can go hands-free, you can use your time in the car to make phone calls. You can use that time to listen to an audiobook. I can't tell you how many parents I know of who use the car rider line waiting time as reading time, whether that's with an audiobook, whether that is with a physical book or your Kindle. Also, if you're going to pick up groceries, if you've ordered them and they're going to bring them to your car, you can use that time for a book. I would suggest that you never leave the house without a book or some sort of reading material. It could be your Kindle, it could be magazines. If you use apps, you can kind of collect some read later items. You can do that on Feedly, Pocket, and that can be your time when you do your read later. You can also take time to just think. Don't be afraid to be bored. Some of the best ideas come from times when you have to wait. Take a few minutes to take care of those nagging little tasks. Make those calls to schedule appointments. Order those things online that you've thought countless times would be helpful around the house, and make life just slightly more enjoyable. Take a few minutes to get your calendar in order. Check your email and write down those appointments, or get them on your electronic calendar. Write those things down that have been on your mind that you need or want to get done. Make your grocery list. If you're waiting at a place where they give you a beeper or they call you, could you take a walk and get in some steps? For longer waits, try to avoid excessive checking. So checking your email inbox, looking for texts, or making sure you haven't missed a phone call. Try to avoid that obsessive checking. For any length of wait, try to anticipate when those are coming and plan for them. If it's a longer wait, what can you do to keep your mind occupied while you wait? For those shorter waits, what do you need to take with you to make the most of your time? So if you have a doctor's appointment and you're having some sort of test and they say it's going to be 2 days, or you get it done on a Friday and they say we're not going to have the results till next week, you know that can be quite a bit of anxiety. And so for a wait like that, what can you already have in place to sort of keep yourself distracted and keep yourself from worrying and obsessing about that kind of situation? So try to anticipate, try to look at your calendar, and if you know something like that is coming, maybe there's some, long television show that you can binge watch. There could be any number of options to try to keep yourself a little bit distracted and not focusing on the unknown of that situation. Just a reminder that time is such a valuable resource. It is finite. We want to use it as an investment. This is one of the first things that we learn in schools. Use your time wisely. So your self-care check-in question: how can you wait better? What small thing can you do today to make waiting more pleasant? If there is a particular situation that you have in mind, how will your life be bettered by waiting? So several self-care check-in questions there. So the last one, if there's a particular situation that you have in mind, how will your life be bettered by waiting? That is, if you need to give an answer and you're not sure, how will waiting make life better for you? So if you could put that decision off, if you could wait until you were certain, wait until you get some sort of guidance, how would that make life better for you? I remember several years ago, I heard someone talking about investing. And this person made some investment decisions, lost some money. And the person said that was the lesson, to wait. And that person said, if I don't know what to do, I just wait. So here's my answer to the self-care check-in questions. I have a big personal project that I want to accomplish this summer, but it's not quite time to do it yet. It does have a date sort of consideration. I would love to go ahead and work on it, even though it's not the correct date to do it yet. The way that I'm dealing with waiting is by breaking the project down into smaller steps and starting to do those smaller steps to prepare for when it is the correct time. It is a paperwork organizational type project. So I'm going to go ahead and do some of the parts that can be done anytime. So although I need to wait for a certain date to complete it, I can go ahead and do some of the preliminary work, like gathering all my documents and making sure they're all sorted and ordered correctly. So I am waiting, but I'm also doing what I can during the wait. So here's the quote. This is a long quote, but it's so, so good. Wait. If the time is not right, the way is not clear, the answer or decision not consistent, wait. We may feel a sense of urgency. We may want to resolve the issue by doing something, anything, now, but that action is not in our best interest. Living with confusion or unsolved problems is difficult, but making a decision too soon, doing something before it's time, means that we may have to go back and redo it. We do not ever have to move too soon or move out of harmony. Waiting is an action, a positive, forceful action. Often, waiting is a God-guided action, one with as much power as a decision and more power than an urgent, ill-timed decision. We do not have to pressure ourselves by insisting that we do or know something before it's time. Deal with the panic, the urgency, the fear. Do not let them control or dictate situations or decisions. Waiting isn't easy. It isn't fun, but waiting is often necessary to get what we want. It is not dead time. It is not downtime. And that was Melody Beatty, and the book is The Language of Letting Go. And I have read that reading so many times, and it's been so helpful because I have been in that situation where I made a decision before it was time and I had to go back and undo it and redo it when I had more information. And I knew that that what I had done before was not correct. So, the song for the day, Time Is on My Side by the Rolling Stones. Time is on your side. You can wait when needed. The video that I want to leave with you, we can always count on Little Women for a video to help us with our self-care. So this is Laurie and Joe Save Amy. They were going ice skating on a pond, and Amy is running after them, and Amy may have wished that she had waited, and definitely wished that Joe and Laurie had waited while she was thrashing around in the frozen pond. So, remember in the notes below, in the links below, there will be a link for my Teachers Pay Teacher store. You can find a free download there that is a self-care menu. It has 100 ideas for self-care. There is also a self-care plan there if you need that. Also, please subscribe if you want to continue to be aware of when I post and publish self-care content. If all hearts and minds are clear, I will see you all next week.